This heart-centered practice of wholeness is not a half-hearted thing. When we ask to have what we have been avoiding brought to the surface, that means it's going to be brought to the surface. And if we've been avoiding it, there's probably a reason we haven't wanted to see it, which means it can feel challenging. But here's the thing. We asked for this. When you were a kid, if you asked your mom to take you to go get ice cream, and then you cried when you got the ice cream, pretty soon, no matter how many times you asked, you wouldn't get taken to go get the ice cream. We're used to asking for what we want, but when what we want involves a challenge, we have to not only be willing to face the challenge, but we have to actually find joy in the challenge. That's why we all admire people who climb Mount Everest or swim across vast stretches of open waters, because we know it's hard, and they've chosen this hard thing, and they've done it despite all the difficulty. But for the rest of us mere mortals, most of us devote a lot of time to avoiding, distracting, and all of a sudden right now we're realizing we can't do this any longer, because this is why we're at where we're at. And so those things we've been afraid of, those things that we haven't liked in ourselves, those things that we've wanted to avoid, if we're going to create this new way of being all together in the world, we're not only going to have to see them, but we're going to have to actually recognize that what we've asked for is happening, and that if we can find joy in that process, then we are showing up to the healing that has to happen. We cannot heal. We cannot be healthy as people and as a planet unless we are whole. And we cannot be whole unless we're willing to ask for all the crap we've wanted to avoid to surface and then turn it over to love. Now that's not easy either, even though it sounds fantastic. Great. Here it is. It's surfaced. And now you take it over, love. Because to turn something over to love, we have to get out of our head habits. We have to stop thinking our way, human willing our way through things. And we have to lean into love, which means that when love brings these things to the surface and they feel scary, we have to trust that they never were real. That sounds easy too, except that these things feel so real that they're habitual. And so to walk away from them means being willing to create a whole new way of living. And that sounds fantastic too, except that whole new way of living has to be heart-centered, has to be love-based, or it's just going to be another iteration of the old way of living. To turn everything over to love means to relinquish any parts of human will that think we're the solution. This me-centered world that we've lived in is the problem. And it's not until we recognize that only by living as a we, as a whole, as an us, can we change our lives. And so, let's find joy in these challenging times by recognizing that exactly what is surfacing, challenging and fear-provoking though it may be, is what we need to see to heal. And to heal, we become whole. To become whole, we heal. And only by leaning into love, by listening to love, by living love. This is how we love ourselves and our world whole together.